Imagine what it's like. Imagine what it's like to be me.
To be me. Together. Together we can see. Together you and me. We understand.
Let me tell you about the time when I began to have seizures, also called epilepsy. What is a seizure, you may ask? Well, they take place in the brain. It's like having an electrical short circuit in my brain. Sometimes things go fine. Sometimes my brain just can't keep up with the connection. Instead, it tries to work even harder to fix the problem, and then the power goes out. Temporarily, thank goodness. It always comes back on. People get seizures for all sorts of reasons. It's not uncommon for people who have cerebral palsy to also have epilepsy. That is what it is called when a person has seizures. How does it feel to have a seizure, you may ask? Well, there are small seizures, and there are big seizures. Some seizures you barely notice. Some seizures make you look like you're doing a fancy new freaky dance move. Some pass by without a bother, and some don't feel good at all. All of them make me tired, really tired, and sometimes I get really frustrated and embarrassed. I mean, I can't control when I have seizures or where. Imagine what it would be like to be somewhere doing what you like, chit-chatting with your friends, walking through the mall, a park, or school, and then everything's fun, groovy, normal, and then all of a sudden it stops. And you end up on the floor not knowing how you got there. And you find people staring, and everyone is scared. Let me tell you, it ain't fun. Once, I had a seizure so big, it kicked me right out of bed. One night, when I was 9 years old, I was sleeping soundly, and then all of a sudden, my mom and dad were trying to talk to me, although I could not respond. I could see, I could hear, but I couldn't speak. I thought I was dreaming. I hoped I was dreaming. What was going on? It turned out I was having my first seizure. A grand mal seizure. That's a big one, and that's why I couldn't talk, and that's why I was having trouble breathing. Apparently, I fell out of bed and hit the ground with a thud loud enough to wake my sleeping parents. They called the ambulance, and I was taken to the hospital where I stayed for a few days. It was different from home, it was different from school, but I wasn't scared. I was bored. The doctors gave me pills, medication to try and control my seizures to help my brain make the right connections. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Unfortunately, with epilepsy, life becomes more unpredictable than it already is. Back in the day, before you and I were born, people with epilepsy were locked away in dark places are thought to have special powers. It scared the people in charge, like kings and priests. Thank goodness that doesn't happen anymore. I'm glad nobody is trying to lock me or anyone else in a dark place. Even to this day, people with epilepsy often feel weird and different. Even great, talented people can feel bad about themselves. Neil Young, a famous rock and roll star from Canada, said that he felt like a freak most of his life because of his seizures. Feeling like a freak is the worst feeling there is. Some other famous people who have epilepsy are Lil Wayne, a rapper, Theodore Roosevelt, the US president, Danny Glover, an actor, Prince, a musician, Susan Boyle from Britain's Got Talent, Cameron Bryce from the Disney Channel, Hugo Weaving from the Elk King from The Lord of the Rings, Napoleon, Vincent van Gogh, Joan of Arc, and Elton John. I'm in good company. When I turned to school after my first seizure, I felt nervous. I didn't want to have another one, especially not at school, not in front of the other kids. Please, please, please. I don't want to feel like a freak. Of course, it happened. Sometimes my hands would shake. That's a smaller seizure. Sometimes my speech would go slurly and it was hard to understand, like zhish. Sometimes I'd stare off to space like I was in another world. Kinda was. Some of the classmates must have been scared about my seizures because they started to be mean. They called me a freak. I guess they thought because I started to have seizures that I no longer had feelings. I had seizures, sure, but I'm not a seizure. I'm a person who has seizures. You may be a person who has curly hair, but you're not your curly hair. You're not a temper tantrum. You're a person who occasionally has temper tantrums. Do you know what I mean? I have seizures, but they do not define me. I will always be me first, a girl, now a woman, a human being like you, different from you, with my own personality, hopes and dreams, good ideas and bad habits. Do you know what makes my epilepsy better? Kindness. No, it doesn't stop seizures, but it helped my heart and mind and made me feel like a kid again. Kindness and understanding. Those things don't just make my epilepsy better, they make the whole world better.
Hardships of my life. It goes up, it goes down. I know that's when things are going right. I might still fall on the ground.